Okay, and that's about a wrap. That's going to be a wrap regarding the Intent and Tact Inc. Chapter 2 clan battle that had happened earlier this afternoon. And so I want to sit here and issue a respective good game to both camps, as we were both able to get together today in order to have a good clan battle happen as follows. I'm trying to recollect a lot of the events that had happened earlier this afternoon, because after that clan battle happened, my head was killing me like a son of a bitch, and so I had to just go lie down, head out, do whatever, and then once I got back in, I'm trying to sit here and remember a lot of everything that had happened today. So if you just give me a minute, I can probably try and see if I can recollect everything that had happened in order to give very generally educated synopses like I usually would do. Okay, I remember that I was supposed to originally have the Intent and Tact clan battle happen the Saturday or the weekend before this weekend. We were supposed to have it, but that didn't happen because of some people's last second cancellations after I told them already what the time was that the clan battle was supposed to be at that time for that said weekend. And we spent a whole week's worth of practice trying to practice for this one rendezvous where everybody could do this. Everybody was dedicated to the training. We got all this shit done. And then I got mass cancellations where nobody can make it for this particular early morning block around 12 o'clock-ish, be it Saturday or Sunday, even after I had moved it pending to Sunday. But I didn't know whether or not the intent leaders did get the message if it was to be moved from the Saturday to the Sunday. So that if they didn't get that, that's on my fault. But what makes me look bad is having to do this last second cancellation because I don't have any other people that are available or that are responsive or reliable in order to be here to do these things. And so doing a last second, I mean, it's fine if I do a cancellation and we do it next week, but to do it completely last second looks incredibly dickish, and it makes me, the clan leader, look really bad. Like, it really makes me look bad when I gotta do that stuff at last second when everybody on their side and pending on our side, had they actually agreed to it, it's already set aside time in advance for this exact block for that exact time in order to make sure that no in real life factors could bleed into that time placing any sooner or later than need be. And then they can go off and do whatever it is that they're gonna go do, because that's life. That's what makes it look really bad. And so I gotta deal with that. That's fine, that's life, that's what it does. But in the future, when trying to agree or go on board to these things for other people out there, please keep it in mind that if things in real life do beckon, or if it feels like something may come up last second, shit happens in real life that nobody foresees that stalls a whole bunch of shit. And some things are very foreseeable in advance. If you're not certain that you can make it, put yourself down as a maybe. Put yourself down as a maybe. That way I have an idea, okay, you're going to be here, but something could be shaky, so I need to make sure I have somebody else on the waiting just in case. So if I can find one or two more people, just in case one or two people that are already here can't be here, then I'll be set. That way it pays to kind of be over-prepared rather than under-prepared. Just a matter of keeping one or two people around to see whatever type of time they got to work with, and whether or not I got to put them in first or work around those intricacies as they come up in the clan battles opener. For the next arrangement that had happened for the following Saturday, Sunday, this was for the next Saturday. Here, everybody could be free for Saturday. The only one that was iffy was just myself, because life shit. So for this one here, I decided to go on ahead and put Blaze Enzon in charge of the general tactical outline for this one. Since I brought him on board to TACT at the beginning of 2019, I decided to go on ahead and let him spearhead the general tactical outline for this clan battle, just in case something happens to me, or whatever it is that holds me up, that prevents me from being able to be here or doing anything. Well, half that battle was met. As we come up upon the date, then a lot of tricky factors do incorporate again, as Remy and Blaze were not able to make it for this clan battle. And so, rather, things got complicated, let's say. And so from that point on, I had to try and figure out how I can piece 2 and 2 together in order to get this going. Because I went on ahead and I did agree to the thing in advance. Everybody said yes to this in advance. So we're going to do this clan battle. But my goal was originally to set up everything for T.A.C.T to work with here. And either go lie down, or I got to go head out and do whatever type of shit I got to do in life. And I was going to let that go, and this would probably be the first time T.A.C.T does a clan battle without me needing to be present to guide it. And then I could wholeheartedly trust whoever else is there. And I would be able to trust Blaze with this responsibility, as Blaze is a preceding clan leader himself, having been the co-leader of Nemesis Gaming. But with him being absent from the clan battle, it would seem, I had to clock in and kind of take the reins for trying to assemble everybody here for the timing and assemble the general strategy. Thankfully, I didn't have to think of a strategy, because Blaze had already bookmarked the strategy that he sent to me that needed to be used for the entire clan battle that we discussed, based off of past T.A.C.T outlines that he was able to study from our past clan battles. So Blaze, I thank you. That saved me a hell of a lot of time in thinking about something, because I honestly could not think for shit. Between my headache and my jaw and life, whatever the fuck is going on with the phone ringing every goddamn minute, I can't think. I seriously can't think. So I thank you. I seriously thank you for bookmarking that shit. That saves so much time. And from there, the clan battle was able to get kick-started after a while. I say after a while because there was a delay that had happened with starting into the clan battle once we actually hit the 12 o'clock marker, as Intent was having load-in issues that was happening with a couple of people. But I wasn't really going to be a stickler about the time. I can understand that those things do happen sometimes. Amidst that, I'm also still trying to find a magical 4th player that's supposed to be online here, because I have 2 people that are here that are finally able to do something, and they are available for this timing. But the problem now is that I need a 4th person, because all the 4th people that I have, all the players that I have on all the players that I have can't be here. And now I have to find a 4th player in order to help me with this shit. So, yay, that's fun. And amidst their loading in trouble or whatever was going on Intense Camp, I wasn't going to worry too much about it, because I'm having problems of my own just finding a 4th person, and I'm casually trying to play it off like I do have all my people here. The key thing was just to make sure to not draw attention to it, so it doesn't become an issue later on down the road if and when they actually do connect, or their ability to connect does stabilize. Between Leo or AB, I'm not sure which one it was. Then Spirit was around for a brief moment, so he had asked if it was alright. If you really do need someone to help on board, I can help you with this since I'm right here. And so I said sure, because I was hoping not to really rely on someone last second, because he didn't know that there was a clan battle going on today. He was off doing whatever else he was doing with family, so he just happened to be on at a good time. And so I managed to catch him at literally a good time. I really don't like doing that, because it puts a lot of pressure on the kid, and I don't want to do that. Because I don't want to make it look like I'm trying to put a hell of a lot of pressure on him for suddenly relying on him excessively for this one moment, or a series of matches right now, when it's suddenly called upon. It's something that is suddenly called upon from him, And that's not fair to him, because there could be something else that he could have probably wanted to do today. Granted that he didn't have anything else to do today, and he was wholeheartedly willing and ready to do it. It's just what stays in the back of my mind is just that reliable people is becoming a pain in the ass. Actual reliable people is becoming a pain in the ass. I understand life happens for some, but for the others that can be there but aren't going to be there, or aren't being kept up to date in their own right, it's pissing me off somewhat. The match went on ahead with the 4v4, and so I had Shock Prime and Hotshot and Spirit and myself, and so we were able to do a base 4v4. We could have elevated it to a 5v5, but I have my 4 people on right now, so I intend to just leave it at 4 people rather than complicating things with a substitution process and blah 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 blah. Granted, I have Cayenne right there, and I have Pro Skills right there, both as pending options. I decided to not use them and just stick to the general outline that was given. Granted, yeah, it is an opportunity at missing power plays, but at the same time, they're not from our group, so why complicate things unnecessarily? And so, launch of round 1 would happen. This would be on Intense host, Tax map pick, which was abandoned. A lot of us took place into Skype in order to continue the conversation to get this going, since Hotshot and Spirit had Skype. And we started into conversations in order to try to execute the game plan. I had my PS4 engaged at the time, so I was able, in order to keep the strategy intact as best as I could, to detail with a couple of minor flaws that did happen through the setting up process, which led to more setbacks that happened through the capture the flag portion. It was essentially competitively one-sided for the most part. Tactfully speaking, it was a very arduous uphill battle in order to get the flag, or to keep the flag runner sustained for long portions of time. Our flag and our base was not well protected at all. I put myself in a position where I was multitasking between trying to keep the flag runner in perspective for when to get the flag, and then when Hotshot needs to be trying to foreshadow the right people between foreshadowing me or foreshadowing Shock Prime back at the base, or foreshadowing Spirit in order to help him get the flag. Usually Hotshot is the one that gets the flag, but for this one here I needed to try to have a different medic, and since there is only one other person that could do the medic role, well, there's a few people that can do it now, but there has to be a heavy hitter in play somewhere in order to allow some type of fighting back to happen. Otherwise they're just going to completely decimate whatever type of plan we're going to do by just bowling right through us like it's nothing at all. So I had to take heavy for this one, and since I need Spirit to be heavy and I need Shock to be heavy, it has to be heavy predominant. There has to be someone who sacrifices a spot for the healer, and I didn't want Hotshot to go as scout this time. I needed him to take something that would be of aerial support, and so I made sure that I needed Hotshot to be the medic. But until of him being the medic, if something should happen to the flag runner, which is either going to be myself or Spirit, then he can go ahead and pick up the flag and keep running, since scientists can be flag runners too. They just need to have a host with them in order to make sure that they're protected, which works well for the medic, since the medic needs a host in order to be genuinely efficient in a competitive or combative environment. So it's a win-win-win in a sense. And besides, I needed to stay back in order to make sure where the enemy is going to be coming in at, because as Spirit is giving me callouts, Shock Prime is not near the flag, and I'm worried what's going on. But he's saying that he's lagging a bit, and that's explaining why he's... When he told me that he's lagging, that's explaining a lot about why he's being two-shotted all the time. Because he's not moving, or if he is moving, he's not moving fast enough in order to respond to the shots that are happening to his movements, and so it's lagging, or he's moving slower on screen to them than he is moving faster on his screen, which does pose a bit of a complication. An expected complication of pending Euronet or UKnet or net from non-US net on US net. However that is right now, I can't think of the term off the top of my head. But anyway, the complications continued to escalate as we just kept continually being dominated because everybody was out of position during a lot of specific intervals or select intervals. We continued to try and give direction as we're going through with this in order to try and recollect ourselves while on the go and keep mixing up the strategy. I switched my position because I was the outline was originally made for me to be the runner, and then Hotshot would have my back, but I decided to hang back and help with the base protection and to keep these people back until the flag runner would get halfway. So I had to give my flag runner position to Spirit in order to try to help this along, since he's talking with Hotshot right there and they can communicate, as opposed to me keeping an eye around the base in order to make sure that people don't keep getting the flag every 2 and 3 minutes. Because every time we keep killing someone and keep returning the flag, it keeps getting stolen again, or it keeps getting taken again, because the lag or whatever it is happening with Shock Prime, it's making him unable to respond fast enough or respond diligently enough to get to the flag or do whatever it is he can do in order to try and get the flag back. So in the end, T.A.C.T ended up losing that one at 5-0. I was hoping we would at least get 1 point on the board, but I guess it was not meant to be. And then next it goes into round 2, which was Conquest. That was on T.A.C.T's host. Intense map pick, which was Tempest, which was a very good choice. Not a lot of people picked Tempest for Conquest. It was originally an LSC predominant map, but it makes sense that Intent would pick it in some sense, since they do house some previous LSC residents. So it's a win-win-win. Anyway, how that one went down with the strategy that I had outlined for this was to harness 2 scientists and 2 destroyers. We would not run a medic build this time. We would just run 2 sentry scientists and 2 base destroyers. Upon Conquest's start, Conquest start, CTF's end, Hack Savage was able to successfully load online. I left him a message from last night, earlier this morning, in order to try to see if he could be here. It was about a good hour and a half into the clan battle until he actually did arrive, but he did arrive nonetheless. Time cognizance is key, mind you. Being time cognizant. And so I was able to switch him in instead of Shock Prime, since Shock Prime was lagging. I went ahead and switched him in order to have him be in his debut clan battle on Fall of Cybertron. For those that are familiar with Hack Savage is a former Dark of the Moon elite player that was seeking to try to make a break in Fall of Cybertron, and so I wanted to try to pick him up for T.A.C.T when I could and just give him a tryout and see how well he could do. And this guy was able to deliver. Like, he was wholeheartedly able to lock it down in his debut clan battle on FoC. He's a very prosperous heavy hitter. He was able to go where it is I go, or where it is I went. He was able to play off of all the strengths and weaknesses of our teammates and was able to strike iron at the right moments against Intent with a lot of their key players, and was able to get that going with his choice for Destroyer. The scores were literally neck and neck throughout the totality of Conquest. There was originally one point where they gained the lead right out of the gate, and then right out of nowhere, also at the beginning of it, we just randomly got a triple cap. Like, right out of nowhere, we got a triple cap. Ow. And we brought the point system right back up to it being a dead game, where it's literally anybody's game, or anybody's guess at that point who could win, because the points were going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, until we eventually, once we were able to put the lead in our favor around the 350s margin, we got back to T.A.C.T basics in successfully double capping the nodes and leaving one node alone while only successfully defending 2 of them. That's what I had wanted to try and do, and we were able to solidify the double capping method from before, which successfully got us the acquisition of Conquest. and we were able to bring Conquest home. Let me see. And then next that should take us into round 3, which was Team Deathmatch. That was on, I believe that was Intense host. I can't remember. That was on Array. That was a rather one-sided match. The Intent team was highly aggressive. Our team was not completely repaired. Not all the correct classes I feel were taken. There was no coordination. Hotshot and Hack Savage were out of place a lot of the time. Spirit stayed by my side most of the time. Other times he was able to do his own thing and try to get to people as they could. And his job, I believe he was the medic during that clan battle. I went Destroyer, Hacks went Destroyer. Hotshot, I believe, went a light class. He was either a scout or a jet. I can't remember off the top of my head. But that match there was pretty one-sided. It was very decisive, because we had no actual heavy hitters in order to try to counteract a lot of that. I can only do but so much. Spirit can only do but so much. Hack Savage looks like he can be a fairly decent heavy-hitting player. A little bit more experience under his belt. I can see him stacking a pretty good amount of kills. But Team Deathmatch was just a no-go. And so that would be the end of the clan battle at 2 losses to the 1 win on our end. So it would be to Intense general victory of the clan battle. I will say though that for the conquest portion, that was really fun, because it didn't feel like work. There was a lot of coordination going on. Everybody was in position. People knew the map from the training. And there was no issue. And it was one of those brief times where doing clan battles can actually be fun, when there is coordination and there's not so much chaos. Because honestly, that's what's been steering me away from wanting to really continue doing this line of work. It's because if it continues to be so dramatic or hectic trying to get the simplest of shit done, what's the point in continuing to play? But that's not the case here. And so I'm glad that it was able to bring a good amount of joy and contentment and enjoyment for a very good afternoon setting. And even though we did not win, it was not a clean slate. I will definitely say that Conquest was the highlight of the clan battle, at least in my opinion. I feel that Conquest was the highlight of it all, since it was a very intensely fought match that went back and forth between 2 equivalent forces, especially considering that Intense general players had full aerial control over that playing field for what it was worth. Between Black Label and Omega playing scientists, and Shadow and Leo blocking, that was hella hard. And we both ran the same strategy with 2 destroyers and 2 scientist sentries. So, very simple conquest strat. Can't knock it. It works. That being said, I believe that does cover the general totality of the clan battle in question here. The links for the clan battles videos are listed below here at T.A.C.T Incorporated. Y'all already know our jam. So, any questions, comments, or concerns, leave a comment down below. Y'all already know what to do. Peace. I gotta go get ready to try and nurse whatever the fuck's going on with my head and my jaw. Because talking a lot ain't helping. You all have a blessed one ahead out there. And as always, till all are one.